All right. So you know the law that says as above, so below, which is the law of correspondence that says as above, so below. Well, the purpose of this video is to demonstrate a certain aspect of why that is actually true. You understand? And the portion of what I want to demonstrate as regards to that law is the correspondence of the heaven to the human body. Now, the human body, has been referred to as a meat suit, depending on who is speaking and on which particular subject they are speaking on. It's regarded as a meat suit. Some people say it's a vehicle. Some people say it's a vessel. Whichever term you use, in your own right, you are correct. You understand? So, but I would rather say it's a vessel or a vehicle, really. Or an avatar. Yes, some people say it's an avatar for the soul. You understand? So, now what I mean here is this the astrology and the connection with the zodiac signs. You hear what I'm saying? The zodiac signs and their connection with the human anatomy. It's not just their connection. These signs are celestial expressions of the physical man. You understand me? Yeah, so more like the ancients will refer to the zodiac as the 12 of them. You understand? As as a whole, refer to them as the the astral body. You understand? The astral body. Why this is like the physical body, that is astral body. Why we need to talk about these things is because people don't often realize that the signs, rule different parts. In fact, accounts for different parts of our body. Is what I will be demonstrating here. For each of the sign rules different parts of your body. And just outside of that, we'll go to like the unseen aspect. Let's say, for example, faculties of the mind. Yeah, the sign also rules faculties of the mind, which I don't think I'll be talking about in this video. But I mean, if if there's need for me to go into that, I'll go into that, right? So, yes, the sign points to different faculties of the mind, which also goes into say the all is mind, the universe is mental. Because people often think that when the word mind is being used, that it means that it has to do with the conscious thoughts. No, the subconscious is just a name for a level of mind that is a bit subtle than the conscious mind. You understand? It's a level of intelligence, it's a level of the mind that is a bit subtle than the subconscious mind. So when you are awake, there's a certain aspect of your mind that you're using, that is the conscious mind. But when you're sleeping, you find yourself dreaming. There's another aspect of the mind is active. When you're having a trance, when you feel that instinct, that instinct is a faculty of the mind. Intuition it's a faculty of the mind. Psychic ability is a faculty of the mind. These are aspects of mind. So when they say the all is mind, because when you look into how these things play out, you see that they all play out as a governing intelligence of these other parts of our being that are physical. So going into the astrology and human anatomy, basically, just say, let me just say the title of this video is just going to be um, the connection between astrology and the human anatomy, or the astrology of the human anatomy. Let me just leave it at that. You understand? So, from Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, they all rule different parts of our body. And I'll be going ahead to demonstrate this, right? Because people don't realize that even in your chart, you understand, your chart is going to, including the signs and the houses, they are all going to, point to the aspect of your body where you are likely going to sustain injury or where you're going to experience an health conditions. You've seen me demonstrate it here too in the chart when I say, oh, these people are going to be having issues with sore throat or issues with their voice or sinuses, or other people that are going to be having respiratory issues. You see other people that say this one are likely going to be having bleeding issues or consistent headaches. These things, I have seen it play out time and time again. I read my own chart, I read my client's chart, and I can identify places in their life where they experience health conditions, where it is severe. And it's not just two places, right? Because it's usually the eighth place, which is the eighth house. Eighth place and houses is just the same. When we use that often, is because the the Arabians decided to adopt the saying, the word houses. It was actually called place originally. This is Hellenistic astrology. If you've done the research in astrology, you know the system of astrology I'm talking about. Hellenistic astrology regard to the houses as places. You understand? So that term is still valid. You understand what I'm saying here? So the Arabic term for that is houses. So eighth place, eighth house. You hear me say house or place, like I use them interchangeably. It means the same thing. Okay, so the sixth place points to allergies and health conditions. You understand what I'm saying? And the eighth points to injuries. But the nature of the eighth place or the eighth house is the injuries that leaves permanent scars on your body. You're going to find it there. You understand? Because it's also the place of healing and recovery. So a place in your body where a healing process, where that's undergone a healing process is indicated by the eighth house. And then the other places too in the chart that I'm going to still, if time permits me, I'm still going to, talk about in the chart. So, hope I didn't move this thing. So the astrology, and the astrology of the human anatomy. Of the human anatomy. So, I think the astrology of the human anatomy. So, I'll draw out a chart and I will demonstrate the signs and the body part of the body that they rule, right? So we are looking at the first sign here, which is going to be Aries. You understand? Aries is the first sign. Aries rules the head. Aries rules the head. Aries is the head. Aries is the brain. Aries is your skull. It's your scalp, not your hair, your scalp. Right? Aries is your face. Aries is also your left ear. This is where Aries rules. So regardless of whichever sign you have in the first place, which is ruled by Aries, even if you're a Sagittarius rising, that is your head. You understand? There are certain energies that are going to be, there are certain energies that are going to be, what is the word they call it that is going to be affecting that place negatively. It's going to give indications of injuries to the head or injuries to the face. A lot. You understand what I'm saying? Because there are certain signs by themselves that just points to injuries. I'm talking about signs that points to injuries. I think I'm just going to take this in zodiacal order instead of to just, to avoid confusing people, right? So that is Aries. And that's not just so. Aries is blood. Your blood. The blood bleeding. Aries is cuts, it's scrapes, it's bruises, it's inflammations, it's infection. You understand? It is irritation, like eczema, irritation on the skin, any kind, eczema, all that stuff is Aries, which is ruled by Mars. Right? Aries is ruled by Mars. All that stuff is Mars, heat, inflammation, infections, and Mars is also sex. So Mars also points to sexually transmitted infections. But let's move to the next one. Let us not dwell on that because Aries also points to the capillaries, in the blood system. This is what Aries also points to. Your veins, vessels that transport blood in your body. You understand? That's Aries. The blood, the head, the scalp, the face. You understand? apart from the lower jaw, which takes me to the sign of Taurus. Taurus rules your right ear. You understand what I'm saying? Taurus rules your right ear. You've had injuries on your right ear, you have to look for where your second house ruler is. Or you look for the sign of Taurus in the chart, you're going to find certain malefic. Okay, now I've actually said it prematurely before I get to that point. Malefics, anywhere there's a malefic in your chart, as I'm going through these things, you need to take note. Anywhere there's a malefic in your chart, is going to point to the place in your body where you've sustained an injury, specifically Mars. Mars points to injuries. The place where Mars is in your chart is giving indication of the places where you've sustained injuries in your body. I'm not capping. Pull up your chart and look at it. Taurus is the truth, is a voice box. The voice, not communication, not speaking, but voice itself is Taurus. Is the truth, is the neck, is the lower jaw, is the right ear. That is what Taurus is. That is a portion of the body that Taurus rules. You see, the signs account for every part of the body. And not just the psychological aspect of it, they point to everything in existence. But this I'm demonstrating here, this is the astral man, this is the astrology of the human anatomy. That is Taurus. The third sign, Gemini. Gemini rules the lungs. Gemini is breathing. Inhale, exhale, that's Gemini. It's also the sign of meditation. You understand what I'm saying? It's also the sign of meditation. Gemini is your arm, your hand, your arm, your forearm, your elbow, your shoulder, your collarbone, your shoulder blade. Other stuff is Gemini. Your wrist, everything has to do with your fingers is Gemini. This is the part that Gemini rules in your body. You look for where a malefic sits in this place, you will find injuries to this part of your body. Or, when I get to this point, I will demonstrate a lot of other things here for you. The fourth sign, which is Cancer. Cancer rules your eyes. Cancer is tears. Your eyeballs, these very eyeballs, is Cancer. It is tears. Cancer is your stomach. It is your upper digestive system. It is your pancreas. It is your spleen. It is your esophagus. It is your stomach. It is your chest. For the women, it is the breast. I think this one will clock people who said now to think about, is that why they say breast cancer? Yes, that's why they say breast cancer. And when Jupiter moved into Cancer, Jupiter is currently in Cancer. And I told people, Jupiter is currently in Cancer. I told people, look, Jupiter is what? Multiplicity. What do they say Cancer is again? It's the abnormal multiplication of cells. But I thought Jupiter is a benefic planet. All the planets have they have the negative and the positive side, like it or not. Everything in creation has its dual opposites. Everything in creation expresses both opposite sides of itself. Every single thing in creation. Okay, I've heard you, but Venus is a benefic planet. Venus does not point to where Venus points to your pimples. Venus is your pimples, those breakouts, those pores. You feel that's Venus. You think Venus is You people need to stop thinking in terms of what is good and what is bad. Take these things for what they are. The creation is complete. These things carry their shadow with them as they move, the same way you move and you have the reflection. Not just your physical shadow, but it's the dark side of you that you try as much as possible not to bring out. You're always suppressing it. And most times where the shadow comes out, where it starts to roam, you understand? Where the shadow starts to come out is mostly on social media. People can just hide behind the identity or behind the anonymity of the accounts they've created to say certain things. But that's not what we're talking about here. So Cancer rules the breast for women. It's also the chest cavity. For the men, it's their chest like this. Still the breast, just like ours does not carry the mammary glands. You understand? The milk that comes out of the breast is Cancer too. That is the sign of Cancer. That is the energy of Cancer. Your tears gland and everything. Water itself is Cancer. Your tears is Cancer. Your sweat, all this your sweat pores. Your sweat is Cancer. So we'll go to the fifth sign, which is Leo. Leo is your cardiovascular system. Leo is your heart, the heart that pumps blood. That's Leo. And Leo is ruled by the sun. Right? Leo is ruled by the sun. Now, the sun is the soul, solar, sun, solar. The soul sits in the heart. Is that not what the ancient taught us? Well, there's astrology proving it. Leo is the sun. It rules the heart. It rules your entire cardiovascular system and also, your lymphatic system too. Leo rules your upper back. Leo rules your spine. Leo rules your central nervous system. Are you following me? These are the portions of the body that Leo rules. Then the next place here is Virgo. Virgo is your immune system, first of all, before anything. It is your guts, your large intestine, your small intestine. It is your guts, your digestive system. The digestive process of when you eat food and food begins to break down. That is Virgo. That is Virgo. Another thing I want to also point out is Virgo is the sign of herbs. Natural herbs is Virgo. But when you consider that Virgo opposes Pisces, Pisces is orthodox medication, drugs from the medical sector. But herbs is where ingredients or nutrients are extracted from, right, to make drugs. Is that not, the orthodox, the medical system get drugs from? See, Virgo and Pisces oppose each other, so they sit in the balance. That is where the balance is created. Where the medical sector goes to nature to collect herbs, that they create medicines. But let's stick to the anatomy. Let's stick to the anatomy, right? Virgo is your digestive process, it's your gut. When they say wash your gut, it will help you to think clear. Well, Virgo is a sign of analytical thinking, critical thinking. When you cleanse your gut, your analytical mind becomes very sharp because there are enzymes in that region that interact with what is here. So that is what Virgo is. Virgo is your rectum. Virgo is your anus. Yes, the place the excrete comes out. Even the very excrete itself, your stool, is Virgo. Your stool is Virgo, but your urine is actually Libra, which is the seventh sign. Libra is your kidney. Libra is your urethra, it's your ovaries, it's your bladder, it's your urine. Everything that goes into the production of urine, everything that goes into that process is Libra. It is also your lower back too. But let's take it further, more like in the human sphere, Virgo is sensation, touch. It's a sign of relationship, and affection and attraction is touch. Oh, Virgo is a tongue. I say Virgo, sorry, not Virgo. Libra is a tongue. Kissing is Libra. Although Taurus, has to deal with, both of them are ruled by Venus. Let me not even create any confusion. Both of them are ruled by Venus. So, but Taurus is more like sensuality. Sensuality and sensation, are they the same? I don't think, they are not. They are not the same, right? So, Libra is the tongue. It's kissing. The act of kissing itself is Libra. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so... sensational. When you hear that was sensational, that is Libra. That very word itself is Libra. So yeah, Libra is the urine, the process that goes into the urine production. Then we have Scorpio. This guy. Scorpio is your entire reproductive organ. All of the organs that goes into in fact, every organ that goes into reproducing. Whether the ovaries, even though Libra is the ovaries, for the male, the testicles, the penis, the female, the vagina, your cervix too. You understand? Your cervix is also Scorpio. You understand? The scrotum sac, the testicles for the men, the women, everything that goes into the process of reproduction, every organ that is responsible for any of that stuff, that is Scorpio. All of it. Scorpio. And Scorpio is a sign of injuries and healing and recovery. So whichever sign that you have in the 8th house is going to show a place that you have an injury that has left a permanent scar on your body. That is the place of permanent changes. You understand what I'm saying? Scorpio is a sign of permanent changes. It's also the sign of surgery. It is ruled by Mars too. Let's not, get carried away. I think Pluto too. It's also ruled by Pluto. Not I think. It's ruled by Pluto. It's also ruled by Mars. You understand what I'm saying? So, this is a sign of changes, a sign of injuries. The injury that leaves a permanent scar on your body is indicated by your 8th house. Look for it in your chart. For those who are sure that are watching me, go and look for it in your chart. You're going to find that indications. And also, anywhere you find Mars in any place of your chart, you have to know the first house. It will always be the head. Whether if Sagittarius is here, no problem. But if it's still the head first, then you will still now consider what Sagittarius is, which is the next sign, which is the 9th sign of the zodiac here after Scorpio. Sagittarius is your liver, is your skin. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, which, they say is the biggest sign of the zodiac, is the biggest planet. You understand? So, when they often ask people those quiz where they say, which organ is the biggest organ in the body? And they be like, oh, it's the skin. Well, the doctors also say that if they want to know the health of your liver, they look at your skin. Sagittarius rules the liver. Your sciatic nerve. You understand? Your pelvic region. Your femur bone, your laps, your hips, your thighs. All that stuff is Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter too. You understand? So if you have Jupiter in like the 8th place, you have Jupiter in the 8th place, yes, or maybe Sagittarius in the 8th place, you're going to have issues with, skin reactions, issues with your liver, something like hyperpigmentation and all of that stuff. Yeah. If you mostly have breakouts, something like eczemas and all that, I'm not a doctor, but this is astrology. Trust me, I know this one, so I can tell you I've heard clients' chat, so this is something I've seen, play out. So if you think the medical sector don't use this stuff, you are joking. If you think they don't use this stuff, you are joking. So, is the liver, is the skin, everything that the liver does, everything that the liver is responsible for, that stuff is Sagittarius. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. It's your waist. Yes, it's also your waist too. It's your waist too. The Botox, I don't know what the Botox is, but I kind of did some findings and they said it was spices, which I kind of agree with. But I'm not going to get into that first of all for now. Nobody needs to know. We're not talking about ass and boobs here. We already know what the breast is, cancer. It's Cancer. So Capricorn being the 10th sign, right? Capricorn, what does Capricorn rule? Capricorn is a sign of structure and stability. What gives you structure and stability in your body? It is your bones, your skeletal system. Your entire skeletal system, your bone structure is Capricorn. It is a sign of stability. Without your bone, the body is just going to be a meat suit without, you can't even stand. You're just going to, like you're breakdancing, but it's not necessarily breakdancing, it's just, you understand what I mean now? So, I'm having fun with this, I've always wanted to talk about these things, but, on our Instagram, the algorithm does not favor me. I don't have enough, audience to go live. So I decided, let me bring these things, all of it here, so where I can, make videos for a long time. I said, let me bring these things to YouTube. So Capricorn is your bones, it's your joints, it's your teeth, it is your hair. Your hair, right? It's Capricorn. And it's your bone, and it's also ruler. A ruler is straight. It's used to measure. So when you hear the word bone straight, what does bone straight mean? It's an hairstyle. So the people that do these things, they know astrology. Stop playing. The people that know these things, they know astrology. Stop playing. So, bone straight is a hair type. Capricorn rules the hair. It is ruled by Saturn. It is ruled by Saturn. Right? It's ruled by Saturn. So you have to know these things. It's ruled by Saturn. So you have to know these things. Your teeth, your bones, your hair, both the one on your skin, any hair, place that is in your body is Capricorn. You understand me? It's Capricorn. And in black people, we like African people, like color skin people, whichever we would like to refer to ourselves as, right? I don't want to sound offensive or use a term that some people don't like. So, but you understand what I mean. We like this color, right? We often say that our women have this low self-esteem of relaxing their hair, which is true because it's not supposed to be so. Why? Because the black woman says is rich in carbon. You understand me? It's rich in carbon. So hence why if you comb it, it stands straight. It doesn't slip. It doesn't fall. You understand? So this is indication of those of us that are fairly highly rich in carbon. It's not like white people don't have it, but we have a more, concentration of melanin. You understand what I mean? And electrons too. Yes, electrons too is another, stuff that the hair strand of the black people is made up of. Like women now who grow long hairs, they can comb their hair. You're going to see it's going to stand straight. A hair that is as tall as this standing straight, you know what that means? That is structure. That is stability in this purest form. This is how you know the original people, the ancient people. By that very indication and by this is brown and black. Saturn, Capricorn, which is Saturn, rose Capricorn, they are the same. Let's not mistake it. Even though Saturn still rules Aquarius, but yeah, the fullness of what Saturn embodies is Capricorn, right? It is this color, or it is a color of black and brown. You understand me? Brown skin, black skin, whatever it is. Capricorn. This is the mark of the original people. This skin color. It's not cursed. You're not cursed. You are the ancient people. It is those who are subordinate to you that came and made you feel like you are some kind of cast down entity that was cursed. And I know you're not cursed. Let me not go for that. Aquarius, right? Aquarius. Where does Aquarius rule? Aquarius rules the ankle. I said Capricorn rules the bones, including your joint, your knee, every part of. But Aquarius rules your ankles. It rules your shin. It rules your calves. The two bones of this lower leg. That is your tibia and fibula or something they call it. Those two, yeah. Those is ruled. Even to your ankle is ruled by Aquarius. Your calves, your shin, all that stuff is Aquarius. That's the portion of the body that Aquarius rules. Aquarius is also the electrical impulse of your nerves, your nervous system. The information transmission of your nervous system is Gemini. The electrical impulse is coursing throughout your body. That is Aquarius. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, that's Aquarius. Pisces, which is the 12th sign. Pisces rules the feet, the very feet, your toenails, your soul. You understand? Your toe, your soul, the entire feet, just everything below the ankle is Pisces. This is why footwear is a sign of Pisces too. You understand? So those have Pisces position in place. I mean, you can venture into like fragrances, perfume, and all of that stuff, but if you go into selling of footwear, it's something that you should also think. I think I read a client and I didn't mention that, but because our energy was so, heavy on the perfume business stuff, right? It's why I just didn't bother to, do any of that, to emphasize so much on that, because it wasn't something she was going to. But anyways, Pisces rules the feet. Pisces also rules the lymphatic system. Even Virgo too rules the lymphatic system. Even Leo too rules the lymphatic system. You understand my point now? So, and also Pisces is also the immune system too. Yes, Spice also the mistake as much as very good is mistake. But if you look at these two rules medicine, but different aspects of medicine. One is herbs, one is orthodox. You understand? So Pisces is a sign of sleep. It's a sign of dreams. So it's when you sleep that your immune system works better. I don't know if you're following. Yes. You see, so these are the portions of the body that each of these signs rule. So anywhere that you have Mars, anywhere Scorpio is sitting in your chart, right? Look for the sign that rules that house where Scorpio is in. You're going to notice that there's been some form of recovery or healing process in that part of your body at some point in time. You understand? So Mars sitting in any of these signs is going to point to injury. And depending on the sign it's sitting for, it can become like maybe cardiac arrest. Depending on the sign that it's sitting in. It could be injury to the arm. You understand? It could be cut on the eyes. That's cancer, like Mars in cancer, kind of stuff like that. So which also points to its indications of domestic violence or physical abuse. You understand me? Yes. And also physical abuse, domestic violence. And if it's in Pisces, that's injury to the feet. You understand me? Like those that have Pisces, like in the 8th place, have issues with injuries on their feet that takes a very long recovery process. It's usually what the 8th house points to. Recovery, but it's going to take a long recovery process that is going to leave a scar on that part of your body. Any part of your body that places is what this 8th house is going to give indications to as regards to where injuries are on your body, right? So where a malefic is, I don't want to just give out all the information there. Let me just keep this video short, right? So, but where a malefic is in your chart, let me just leave it at that. It's going to indicate places where, like Mars and Pluto, for example, now is like these two points to surgery. So tendency that you might have carried out a surgery where any of these two are indicated, that if you've had a surgery, you're going to see where these two have been indicated, or the sign that is in the 8th house is going to point to the part of your body where you've carried out a surgery. That is another thing. So I believe I've done justice to this particular topic. So this is the astrology of the human anatomy. We are not separate. The entire sign, the entire heaven came down, manifested itself as us. You understand my points? Manifested itself as us. We are the physical body. We are not separate from it. If you think it's a lie, pull up your charts. Any place where you've had injuries in your body, look for your 8th house there. Look for where Mars is. Look for where Pluto is. I'm not going to say more than these 3. Just look for where these ones are. There are other places too that will point to injury, but now, let me just, look for where these things are in your chart. You will see. Even your injuries is written, is there in your chart. The injuries you're supposed to go through. If you have a malefic, if you have the planet of surgery, any of these 2 planets of surgery in a sign like maybe cancer, you understand? Or maybe you have any of these 2 planets indicated in the data, there's likelihood that you're more going to, like as a female, as a lady, there's likelihood that you're going to have a child through cesarean section, because that's surgical, that's a surgical procedure. You understand what I'm saying? So you see these things, it's in people's charts. When I'm rectifying people, I had a surgery, boom, I just know what to put. All those things, I just know where to look at, and I just know, okay, this person is correct, this person is, So these are this is the astrology of the human anatomy, right? So